Hello, I'm Grizzly Joe. As surely as crocuses emerge following winter's chill, Occupy stupidity was on display once again this past weekend in Manhattan's Zuccotti Park. Some occupiers claimed they were there to mark the 6-month birthday of the Occupy movement. However, it also happened to be St. Paddy's Day and an unseasonably warm day in New York City. I'll leave it to you as to whether these folks were actually there to celebrate the birth of the so-called movement, or whether the bulk of them were simply drunken St. Paddy's Day celebrants drawn to the beating of the drums and the pungent aroma of marijuana smoke. This is not the first time I have spoken about the Occupy movement. To be clear, I do not support Occupy in any way, shape, or form. Can you imagine all the good that would result if these occupiers instead volunteered their time with Habitat for Humanity? Think about that. Now come reports from Mother Jones magazine that there are at least 10 people across the country running for federal, House, Senate seats who are at best honestly seeking support from occupiers, or at worst are cynically pandering to the Occupy mentality or dementia. In summary, these 10 political hopefuls have given speeches at Occupy rallies and claim to be fighting for America's middle class. Class warfare. Sound familiar? One candidate humbly takes credit for creating Occupy's intellectual foundation. All along, I thought stupid is as stupid does came from the movie Forrest Gump. Another Occupy candidate proposes public financing for elections. Thus, we, the people, will pay higher taxes to finance any stooge who runs for public office. I don't think so. In perhaps the most blatant example of pandering to Occupy's base, one candidate proposes federal legislation to erase student debt. Yet another candidate is a former National Mobilization Director for MoveOn.org. Hey, Occupy, you ever hear of George Soros? Another candidate engaging in what President Obama would call civil discourse, called Dick Cheney a blood-sucking vampire. Last, and yes, least, one Occupy candidate, naturally from California, counts among their supporters Phil Donahue and Hugo Chavez sidekick Sean Penn. Enough said, eh?